Welcome to Iskas Vishlishan Mein, our special analysis for today. We're unraveling a truly complex, honestly mind-boggling police operation that went down right in the heart of Delhi. It's a gripping true crime mystery involving a sudden raid, a locked room, a massive hidden secret, and tragically, a fatal fall. So let's look at the evidence and see exactly what the sources reveal.
Picture this heart-stopping moment. The anti-narcotic squad just breached the door of a fourth-floor flat. Right inside, a foreign national, Stella Pius, makes an unthinkable split-second decision. Instead of facing the cops, she literally rushes straight to the window and leaps to her death. I mean, why? What could possibly be so deeply incriminating inside that apartment that she chose a fatal drop over simply facing an interrogation?
You know, what makes this whole thing even more chilling is the actual setting. We're not talking about some abandoned, isolated warehouse out on the dark outskirts of the city. No, this was Swerpnagar. It's a quiet, perfectly ordinary residential neighborhood. You've got families living their day-to-day lives, kids playing outside, completely unaware that right next door, literally sharing walls with them, a deadly, high-stakes criminal operation was running right under their noses. But, as you'll see, the police didn't just stumble onto this building by accident.
Okay, let's dive into this timeline. How did we get here? This sudden raid was actually the climax of days of meticulous behind-the-scenes police work. It all kicked off with some really subtle clues picked up during a totally separate investigation over at the Bari police station. Those breadcrumbs led authorities to track down and arrest a guy named Frank Desmond, and it was his intensive interrogation that finally connected the dots, creating this direct trail that led the squad straight to this unassuming multi-story building in Swarupnagar. So, the cops arrive and the raid is officially a go. Step 1. The anti-narcotics squad breaches the third floor. Here, they manage to apprehend a suspect who goes by the name Romeo, or alias Sky. Now, at this point, the tension is just palpable. The police absolutely know they've hit a legitimate target, but they don't yet realize the unbelievable scale of what's waiting for them just one floor up. Step 2. With Romeo in custody, the team advances up those narrow stairs to the fourth floor, completely unaware of the life-or-death stakes about to unfold. I want you to notice this specific number: 30. During that search of Romeo on the third floor, the police found 30 grams of MDMA, along with about 1.5 grams of heroin. Now, to the untrained eye, 30 grams might not sound like this massive mountain of evidence, right? But in law enforcement, that quantity completely crosses the threshold from just personal use straight into intent to distribute. It totally cemented the police's suspicion that they hadn't just busted a local user. They'd stumbled onto a key node in a much, much larger operation.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because the contrast between these two floors is exactly where this case escalates. Down on the third floor, you've got Romeo dealing with, distribution-level drugs. But the fourth floor? That housed two separate flats occupied by Martin Aaron and Stella Pease, and it was operating on an entirely different scale. It is right here, on this top floor, that the confrontation reaches its absolute boiling point. Which brings us right back to that tragic climax. The official reports stated it pretty bluntly. As soon as the woman saw the police team, she panicked. She jumped from that fourth-floor window before anyone could even attempt to stop her. The officers immediately rushed her to the hospital, but the injuries were just too severe, and doctors declared her dead. Her extreme reaction left the police reeling with this massive, haunting question. What on earth was she so desperate to keep them from seeing? Well, the answer to that question lay with a single, highly guarded object: a secret key. While searching the other fourth-floor resident, Martin Aaron, police discovered a lone key on him, but it didn't belong to the front door of his apartment. No, it belonged to a specific, heavy, locked door tucked away deep inside Stella's flat, a room she had quite literally died trying to protect. And this brilliantly illustrates what they found when they finally turned that lock and threw open the door. Inside, they didn't just find a hidden stash of contraband. They found massive quantities of industrial chemicals. We're talking complex setups of beakers and pipes, precise electronic weighing machines, and heavy sacks of raw materials. Guys, this was no mere stash house. This was a fully functional, completely clandestine laboratory. According to DCP North Rajabenthia, this was a full-scale manufacturing factory specifically set up for methamphetamine and MDMA. They found raw materials sitting right alongside packaged tablets that were totally ready for the streets. And what makes this truly staggering
is the environmental context here. You've got volatile chemical reactions and toxic fumes being generated in a closed-off flat inside a densely populated building. It was a massive illegal factory operating as a literal ticking time bomb right behind a locked bedroom door.
But cracking open this locked room wasn't the end of the investigation. It was really just the exposure of a much, much wider network. The sheer scale of this lab leaves us with some critical, chilling, unanswered questions. Were these synthetic drugs destined for local neighborhoods, or does this syndicate reach across international borders? And what exactly was Stella Pius's role in all of this? The raid in Swarb Nagar might have solved the immediate mystery behind that locked door, but the investigation into how this dark manufacturing ring actually operated, that is only just beginning. Keep asking questions, and as always, stay curious.